well-financed torpedo at the men from London. Leighton Hodges, who binned 5 Fijians in the Italy-Fiji game, is the referee today. And it's Nick Evans who starts this one, and the Quins management team and coaching team, Conor O'Shea and Tony Diprose, were telling me that Racing are going to be up against Prestissimo today, a Prestissimo tempo, which I am assured is slightly quicker than Allegretto.
Very impressed, Andrew Lloyd Webber. This is all about the table, the tempo of the game. This is what Quins want to do. They keep that ball alive, go through lots of phases very, very quickly, not allow this big, heavy unit that Racing Metro have settle.
Yeah, Tony Diprose was telling me that well, he hopes Racing Metro have their running shoes on, because they are planning on moving this big pack around. Racing Metro do play a certain way. And of course, Quins have their own methodology as well, don't they? Luke Wallace takes the ball up close to the 22, and it's Danny Kerr, an excellent form to Nick Evans. And an error there by Matt Hopper in midfield, the advantage going to Racing. And Matt Hopper was at breakfast this morning in the team hotel in his bare feet, and I was very concerned he was going to stub his toe against one of the tables, but he seems to have survived. Titi Dejeuner.
Nervy start from both teams, and it didn't have no knock-ons. So not gone to the rhythm yet.
Well, this big powerful pack that they have, Racing Metro, a lot of shove coming in that second row from Andre Crere and Francois Fontamerdi, whose brother was such a dominant force for South Africa this season in the Rugby Championship and in November. And it's picked up by Unkovo, absolutely gargantuan Fijian number 8. In goes George Robson with a tackle, and just making a big enough impact to help dislodge the ball there. Now it's Maxime Machinot back after injury. He missed the November series when Morgan Parra was the French scrum half, launched forward by Dombiel. Now it's Mike Brown, England's man of the series in November. Charlie Walker in late. Tom Williams failing a fitness test this morning. Racing, if they managed to turn this ball over, well, the body language suggested that, and there was holding on because Harlequins were really put under pressure in the contact area there.
But isolated, that's what Quins can't afford to do, because they are Racing Metro do possess a heavy unit up front. And Quins can't afford to be isolated. They want to retain possession.
Well, Harlequins have lost their first 2 pool games, and the English clubs are like Tiger Woods. 2007 since they won a major. The last major winner was Wasps 6 years ago. And after Thursday's statement, they may never win another. Well, there's the infringement at the breakdown, and looks like Will Collier, who was penalised in there. His penalty count this season's well into double figures, mostly at scrum time though. This is Sarzetsky. Sarzetsky, and was that straight? The referee says yes. And here comes the drive, and they've got to disrupt the maul. If you watch the game against the Scarlets, one Racing Metro maul went from 22 to 22, all of 50 metres. It is an incredibly powerful and concussive weapon for Racing.
That drive got split there. Quins did well in defending that.
This is Dumoulin. Could be a real target in midfield in terms of the crash ball for Racing Metro. They were working on that during the warm-up before the game here. Here is Dombiel. And the offload from Hernandez. Rather fortunately goes Racing's way. El Maggio playing at full-back tonight. And here is Machinot, or this afternoon I should say, early evening here in Nantes, taken on by Dumoulin. Fired out to Eddie Benarous, and here's Sarzetsky. 75 times capped by France, Dimitri Sarzetsky. The whistle goes again from Leighton Hodges.
I've got a side entry here.
Side
entry. It's going to be
entry.
time off. I want to check something back here.
And he wants to go to the TMO to check something. Gareth Simmons.
Can you hear me?
Is in the box.
Okay, when we had the last maul off the line out, went into it. Just a second. Then it goes into a ruck. Can you just look at the clean out by Racing Metro number 5, please?
In the Italy-Fiji game, Leighton Hodges went to the TMO an awful lot. The first half took 59 minutes.
A removal of a player in the ruck here by Racing.
Quins would want as well to stop that game.
It's going to be a penalty to Quins there if there's nothing there. Yeah.
And that's the tackle from Collier. Robshaw goes in very well at the breakdown. Krzyzewski got isolated.
So are you still checking?
Well, we're struggling to hear on commentary here what the referee's saying and what the TMO's response will be. But as usual, it eats into our day. In the Zebra-Ulster game last week, 6.5 minutes of the first half was wasted through visits to the TMO. Soon in rugby, they're going to have to change the bus timetable so as people will get home in time for dinner.
3:40, 3:50.
Games are taking longer and longer to the conclusion. The American football for long.
It'll end up like cricket. You'll have to take a break for tea and buns. The players will be getting starving out there.
It's the wrong footage at the moment, so we're waiting for the right footage. So I'm just checking a removal of a player by your number 5 here. Okay. In any event, you've got off your feet and in at the side at the last ruck there.
One of the issues is with this, Jan, as we know, working in television, that the referee has to really be very precise as to what he wants, or else the TMO doesn't know what he's looking for, and neither do the VT operators in the trucks around the ground.
Busy trawling back through 4.5 minutes of action, now looking for this split-second moment from Racing.
Okay, thanks.
Well, it really did make a mess of that Italy-Fiji match in the November series. It was so horribly disrupted by situations like this, and there is the Time Lord, Leighton Hodges. Roland Travers looks on, a man who played in a Heineken Cup final for Brive against the man sitting to my right, Jan Evans, the losing final to Bath.
It wasn't against me, I kept it away.
I didn't see anything clear and obvious, but I just wanted to check, just because at the side of my vision. So I'll stick to my penalty to Quins here with Racing off their feet and in at the side, okay?
Well, the natives in the crowd, and there's about 24,000 of them here in this 30,000 capacity stadium, just getting a little bit restless. And I think at last we're going to come to a decision, and it is for the original side entry, a penalty to Harlequins.
I really hope this doesn't set the tone for this afternoon's game. Really, any speed and tempo has gone out of it.
So Nick Evans kicks for touch, and what an excellent kick that is from the all-black out half.
Super kick. They wanted now line out in the opposition 22. It's all about getting good ball off the top for Quins from this line out.
Well, Dave Ward, superb last week against the Falcons, the man of the match in that game up at Kingston Park, and a beautifully worked little line out. And it was Danny Kerr coming in short from Dave Ward's feet. Here's Nick Easter. He had an astonishing game against Newcastle last week in the second row. He's moved to number 8 again this afternoon. Danny Kerr fires it out, and Joe Marler takes it on. Here's Danny Kerr again. Nick Evans firing the ball into the arms of Matt Hopper. There's been another knock on here. Matt Hopper hasn't had the best of starts in the midfield for Harlequins. George Robson just sorting out a few issues.
It has been a nervy start from Matt Hopper. Twice now the ball's been knocked on. Racing Quins had some good ball. Good work by Marler to create some good quick ball.
And the whistle goes.
Quins do a tackle a bit wider. They want to tackle those wider channels. They want to keep the tempo going in the game. Get their offloading game going, but you have to retain possession to get that sort of pace.
White ball.
Over 241 miles to be precise from Cologne.
Time off.
That's nothing, because Racing played their first home game of the season in the top 14 at La Rochelle, which is 292 miles from Paris West. I think we may need a shirt change here for Bernard Leroux. And last season in the Heineken, Racing played their 3 home games in 3 different stadiums. Stade de France, Yves de Manoir and here in the Stade de la Beaujoire, and they also played Saracens in Brussels. They're becoming rugby's Bill Bryson.
It's number seven.
Like a brand new stadium being built in Nantes, in the Parisian suburbs. Spending a lot of money. Jackie Lorenzetti's invested huge sums in this team.
He was 2 metres.
Well, that new stadium, Jan, it's estimated to cost Racing 350 million euros. Arena 92, they're going to call it, and they've got the green light for that development, as you say. Synthetic, pitched, retractable roofed stadium. Work to start apparently in February, with completion in 2016.
Crouch! Bind!
And then they won't have to live the life of a hobo and
Set!
end up in places like Nantes, which is a big rugby town. Very popular sport here. Big basketball town as well. Love their football, of course, with Nantes 4th in the top division at the moment.
It's more glamping around than being a hobo. Sort of budget. I think they're still well looked after. Yeah.
Mike Brown, brilliant in November. And 2 tries in the Heineken Cup already for Mike Brown, both against the Scarlets. That was one of the games, of course, that they lost at home. Tremendous performance that day from the Scarlets side. Here's Dave Ward. And again, they've worked an interesting line at option there, and it's Joe Marler who took the ball from the throw. Here's Danny Kerr to Nick Easter. Does get himself heavily involved in the loose, whether he's wearing the number 4 shirt or the number 8 shirt. Here's Chris Robshaw back on the Harlequin side. Bumped and bruised and swollen after the November series.
I expect to see Chris Robshaw popping up as first receiver quite often.
Again, Leighton Hodges is playing the advantage here.
Straight off your feet.
It's quite interesting. Quins, a couple of liners now taking quick throws or short throws. Keep Racing guessing. Racing are one of the few sides in France really compete on opposition throwing. And when you've got the likes of Van der Merwe, Krier and Loré, there are plenty of liner options there, so they do like compete. So Quins are intent on getting the ball somehow so they can start building their phases.
They're getting on the right side of the referee at the moment. They are beginning to rack up the penalties here, are Harlequins, and again they've got themselves into a good position just on the cusp of the Racing Metro 22. And what sort of line-out option will they try here? This time it's more tried and trusted to the man who calls the line-outs at Harlequins, George Robson. That's Luke Wallace, and he's driven back well there. Good defence at the attempted setting of the ball by Harlequins. Off goes Chris Robshaw. A little bit of a gap there. And on they go again. This is good work. Little popping offloads that they love so much here in the West of London club, and it's Robshaw once more as he receives the ball off the turf too. And here is Matt Hopper to Charlie Walker, his lookalike, playing on the right wing in place of Tom Williams. Danny Kerr wrestled to the ground through the middle there. Came Racing, so that is legal. But it's Harlequins who get the scrimmage. They were moving forward in the opinion of Leighton Hodges.
Yeah, they'd lost that ball. Charlie Matthews did well to recover the situation. A lot of pressure at the breakdown coming through on Danny Kerr.
And it was Wenceslas Laurie, and we did that November series, the French November series. How well did he play for France?
He's played well all season. Able to keep Lydiard out of the side here as well. Huge tackle count. He's averaging over 15 tackles a game, or whatever level he's playing, whether that's for Racing or for France. He's been really impressive, and for me, France's standout performer alongside probably Bryce Dulin in the autumn series.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Harlequins cope today. Conor O'Shea said that the reignition of Harlequins' competitive nature came down to the Clermont environment and the performance out there. They enjoyed the spectacle, the hostility and the passion. They almost rediscovered themselves, and since that game they really have kicked on in the Premiership.
Varsity triggered a response after a very shoddy start to the season. They brought an intensity after their opening onslaught from Clermont, and allowed them to go and win 4 games on the bounce in the Premiership. It's obviously triggered a response there somewhere.
Yes, 9.
Including an away win at Leicester. They seem to have the hex of the Tigers at Welford Road.
Yeah, well, the Quins love this playing philosophy of keeping the ball alive, but you also got to bring an intensity in defence as well. It isn't purely about playing attacking play. You bring something else to the party as well. And particularly when their set piece isn't the strongest, particularly comparing against the might of Racing Metro. You have to spend a fair bit of time defending as well. You bring that hunger in defence, which they certainly didn't against the Scarlets.
Primed!
Danny Kerr to feed here, over 150 games now for Quins. Quick pick up by Nick Easter, off goes Danny Kerr, so dangerous in these positions when he does things like that. Unfortunately this time the offload goes to Racing Metro's in Quovo. And he did well to sweep back and cover. And here is Machino, had to hurry there because Chris Robshaw and Luke Wallace were all over him.
So Nick Evans are desperate trying to get the ball in quickly. That's the threat that Danny Kerr is able to provide. A good pick-up by Easter. Gives Danny Kerr an early pass. Gives him a bit of space to attack that blind side. Little dummy.
Watch the front there, especially.
And Cova didn't have the pace to get to him, but he got the pace to cut off the pass. Worked his way back in defence. There is an opportunity there for Danny Kerr to attack that blind side, providing he has the quality of ball from the scrum.
Quins, take your
He's in good nick at the moment.
Just bubbling with confidence. 4 tries in the Premiership for Danny Kerr. Dave Ward, and that's Charlie Matthews. Here is Nick Easter pops it off to Luke Wallace. Now Danny Kerr, it's Nick Evans. Here's Tom Casson. There was a doubt about Tom Casson this week, but fully fit. Danny Kerr trying to get themselves onto the front foot. Nick Easter doing well there. Here is Nick Evans, and up comes Luke Wallace, and it's Benjamin Dambiel who calls for the mark.
How often see Nick Evans use those probing cross-field kicks, always looking. And Luke Wallace did well to maintain his width there, but Racing Metro were alert. Dambiel was there.
It's a good kick, and it's taken quickly by Mike Brown to Danny Kerr. Now Sam Smith, 2 tries last weekend, 1 75-metre run-in. What a try that was by Smith up at Kingston Park. Now Danny Kerr fires the ball to Charlie Matthews, to Nick Evans now, to Tom Casson. Nick Easter was out there on the wide outside, and so too is Matt Hopper, but it's Benjamin Fall. Benjamin Fall is lightning fast, and Harlequins will have to work hard here to cover. It's Johnny Walker who gets back close to his own line, and he's done well there, Charlie Walker, to twist his body into the right position.
No hands!
Now can Harlequins get out of here? Danny Kerr clears away but doesn't find his touch. Now it's Hernandez, the Argentine. Look at the pace from Hernandez. Here's Marc Andreu. Marc Andreu on the switch and the knock on. And Harlequins look like they are going to escape here if Danny Kerr can get his kick away accurately. Well, he's giving it straight back to Dambiel. That's the second time. Joe Marler makes the tackle.
That's twice Danny Kerr's missed touch when he was aiming to find it.
This is Eddie Benarous, a chunky loose head, and it's Nacional to Fantamerve. Fantamerve is hit hard. Joe Marler, one of the tacklers. Here's Benarous again. Sets it for Machino to Dambiel, to Dimitri Sozetsky. His locks flowing as usual. Perfect conditions out there, sunny day all day. Crisp day here in the west of France.
No hands! Out!
Machino to Luc Ducalcon. And again, there's 2 Harlequins tacklers there, both members of the back row, Easter and Wallace.
It's a tackle!
Benjamin Fall steps in at scrum half, and off goes Luc Ducalcon. Good work by Ducalcon.
No, stay.
Ball once more is the scrum half, and it's for Zetsky. Well, it's LaRue, numberless LaRue. And they're trying to hold him up here.
It's a tackle, roll away!
Great bullish strength of Nick Easter in there. Wasn't able to do quite enough, and now it's Dumbiel. Mike Brown is there. Will the ball bounce for him? And Mike Brown finds a little bit of space for himself. And it's Dumbiel who's back there this time in the sweeper role, and Mike Brown followed his own kick to put Dumbiel under pressure. It's Tom Casson away, Nick Evans, so there's loads of space on that far side, and Nick Evans identified it so well. This is Estebanez, Fabrice Estebanez, who was very lucky not to be sent off in the last round down at the Scarlets.
Well, at last, a meaningful and an effective kick by somebody. Some pretty loose kicking from both teams, to be honest. That time Nick Evans found the space. And this is the attempted grubber from Hoppers in a difficult opening quarter. Oh, look at a lovely dink over the top. Then kicks again, but great work by Charlie Walker to get across. Down, back up on his feet, buys a bit of time for the Harlequins to get back and help him out there. Really good work. Benjamin Fall, very alert there.
Pass to 15.
Picked up by Joe Barlow.
Ball was out, hands are on.
No, the ball was out there, so
it's a tackle, roll away! White! Use it!
Will Collier, tight head prop, standing over the ball. It's all pretty turgid stuff in there at the moment. Going to generate some pace from somewhere here. That's Chris Robshaw. In goes Danny Kerr. Now Nick Easter once more. Charlie Matthews on his shoulder.
It's a tackle!
Charlie Matthews just back a couple of months out with a shoulder injury. Nick Evans now to Mike Brown. Good feet by Mike Brown to beat the first defender there, Wandre Creer. And off they go through Nick Evans. Here is Hopper, now Luke Wallace. And he's been out in those wide channels in the early stages. The Harlequins flanker. Nick Evans to Tom Casson. Casson, little show of the ball, then the offload to Collier. That's good work. Now George Robson. Easter tries to clear out. Danny Kerr is there for Nick Evans. Nick Evans sees a gap. Brilliant by Nick Evans. Astonishing from Nick Evans. And that's the rip-roaring individual razzmatazz that Nick Evans can produce.
Excellent try by Quins that time. So a couple of instances then of flooding that 10 channel. He saw Mike Brown looking at the inside pass off Nick Evans. Good ball retention, went through a lot of phases there, pulled in defenders, and that created the gap. Well, Ben Arous really all at sea defensively, no idea. Even had his back turned to Nick Evans at one time, and Nick Evans isn't going to turn down an opportunity to attack that channel. Good step and had the pace to get away. Really good play by Quins. Good interplay between backs and forwards, offering themselves support.
Just under a minute.
And again, looking for that wide pass. A call came in. Danny Kane knew where the passes needed to go. Drew Nick Evans onto him. And again, isolated prop forwards in those channels. Well worked try.
A jagged right angle sidestep from Nick Evans there.
All out wide.
And he's been in good kicking form as well as Nick Evans. A run of 13 in a row was ended at Newcastle Falcons, but his return was still 6 from 7 at Kingston Park, and all 7 points delivered by the former All Black out half.
It's all about the pace of the ball from the phases. It doesn't allow time for that Racing Metro to reset. They're uncomfortable with that pace of ball. And that's when front tight 5 forwards really feel all at sea.
Is that Prestissimo? Dumbiel with the restart. Oh, it's gone miles too far. Does he have an excuse? The Racing player's not used to the dimensions of the non-pitch. Well, it was so far out of play. It's probably quite a lame excuse.
Option taken is the scrum.
A poor restart. Dumbiel.
Straight out.
The Harlequins, they lost 33-26 at home to Scarlets in round one, then 23-16 in Clermont. Fighting back. And my goodness, how they fought back after conceding 3 tries in the first 25 minutes. It took a late Nick Evans drop goal to secure a very hard-earned losing bonus point in the end.
Very stop-start opening 5 minutes or so. Quins really have controlled how this game has been played. It's exactly what they wanted to do.
Danny Kerr off a good solid scrummage. Now Nick Evans with a probing little dink forward, and surely there was a knock on there by Hernandez, and El Maggio wasn't just so magical.
Very lackadaisical.
So that was an advantage.
Very slow to get down to the ball. Mark Andrew coming back, protecting him. And again, he took his eyes, he lifted his head up to have a look. Charlie Walker was there. And that could have been disastrous for Racing Metro. But again, a very precise, an accurate kick from Nick Evans and pressure. He didn't want to kick the touch, he wanted to put pressure on the Racing back three.
I'm not sure his teammates would have appreciated. Not only did he knock the ball on, and then he tries to flick it between his legs, with Harlequins being afforded the advantage. It's a superb position now for Harlequins if they can attack off this set piece.
Yes, 9.
So much pitch on the open side to work on.
Stay flanker.
Nick Easton, good scrummage by Harlequins. Excellent work against this big Racing pack, and they're going to get a penalty from it.
Scrum has gone really well for Quins so far, because if it had been a facet of the game, they would have been concerned about going into this. With that heavy, tight fight from Racing Metro.
Shot. Under pressure.
And they've decided to go for the points here.
Yeah, the ball's been good. Fairly settled it. Nick Evans at the back, and he's been really impressive so far this season. But in the second row as well as number 8. He's always got that skill set that can transfer back and forth. But plenty of control there. Oh, from both front rows are up.
Over 1,500 points he scored in his time at Harlequins. Well past Terry Lacroix in terms of topping the charts in the Heineken Cup for the club. Eight from 9 this season. Here's his record in the Heineken Cup following that conversion of his own try. Can he make it 10 individual points for himself? Oh, he's getting very selfish in his old age.
Racing Metro nil, Nick Evans 10. Really good start by Quins. Really, other than that, a couple of errors, Racing Metro haven't really. They try to capitalise on an error from Hopper, but really they haven't brought anything else to the party. Really subdued performance considering they're the home team.
Dombiel with a much better restart this time, but well taken by George Robson. Danny Kerr to Chris Robshaw. Absolutely right there, Jan. He will pop up at first receiver as he does.
You run on, yeah.
Frequently, Danny Kerr's kick into the arms of Hernandez. And now here's Improvo. He's almost 20 stones. He'll knock most people out of the way. Nick Evans was the first speed bump there. This is Machinot to Dombiel. Here's Dumoulin on the switch, and Danny Kerr gets it around the ankles, but he manages to get away from the clutches, and in comes Benjamin Fall and Luc Ducalcon. Machinot to Swarzetsky. Machinot, Dombiel, little dummy, and here's Wenceslas Lorre, and he makes the error. And there was a double knock forward there, and forcing this Racing side into errors, and they do seem a little bit lacking in focus. You're right.
Yeah, they're not really forced. They're totally unforced, to be honest. There's no real pressure on Lorre, and he can't be lacking in confidence. The moment this season he's had so far. And when you have an opportunity to run at an outside half, Nick Evans, back row, should be really desperate to hold on to that ball. But they look disjointed. Now, whether that's because two new coaches, and so much influx of players. 19 personnel come into the squad, 19 have left as well. And I mean, that's not much trying to integrate, that's practically re-engineering a squad.
It's been a rather flabby performance so far from Racing, lying 8th in the top 14. 1-7, lost 6, 9 points behind the leaders Clermont. It's another good scrummage. Nick Evans to Tom Casson. Here's Mike Bryan on the line. One for Sam Smith to chase. No, Hernandez! The ball bounced horribly for him, and he wasn't helped by his footing there either. A semi-slip from the Puma.
No, lead it!
Machinot, what a poor pass that was, and well, pressure all over the place there in defence for Racing Metro, and they're not doing themselves any favours.
You can use your feet,
nice
but
kick
don't touch
that
a
from
player.
Brown. Kicking to create pressure, turn the opposition, turn the back three. They're not kicking a touch. They're forcing these errors, and these errors are flowing from Racing Metro at this moment in time.
Watch your front there, Simon, okay?
Dombreal, despite the poor pass, did very well to pick it up off his toes and get them out of there. But not very far. So here's Dave Ward. This time they go to the tail.
It's over 15. One man sack.
Dave Ward waits and picks. And he makes it a couple of important meters there, Dave Ward. The ball finds its way back along the ground. Wasn't particularly well controlled, was it there?
Good yards gained by Laurent Bellon. They're in difficult circumstances. Lots of defenders, good 2-3 yards.
Good work by Nick Easter. Very explosive from the base of that rock. Pretty dodgy pass, well picked up by Tom Casson, then he's scragged away by LaRue. Still Quins' ball though.
Back.
Danny Kerr to Nick Easter. If you watched the Falcons game last week, he threw one amazing reverse pass from a line-out to Sonny Bill Williams in a forward shirt. Who would have believed it? They've managed to slow the ball down a little bit here, Racing Metro, but they're still being put under vast amounts of pressure by Harlequins.
Making good yardage round the fringes though. Good 2-3 yards every time.
And they've got a penalty advantage coming their way again, have Harlequins, so a real chance here to put a lot of scoreboard pressure on this Racing Metro side in the first half. McEvans to Casson. Oh, it's opened up here for Casson. He finds Hopper. Hopper! Did he manage to dive his way over the line there and get the ball down? And again, in the middle of that was Nick Evans.
Time is off.
And they're going to check it. And have Harlequins taken advantage of all that pressure that they are exerting on this Racing Metro side? Mark Andrew came in to try and stop him, and look at Hopper. Does he do enough before he goes into touch? Well, it's close.
I think might have been his right knee might have touched across the touchline as he placed that ball down. This is whether the frame catches it or not.
No, advantage over.
Beautiful pass by Nick Evans though.
Got your chance, advantage is over.
It's only got to be the point of the ball before any part of his body touches the white line. Oh. And I think Gareth Simmons is going to rock and roll, which is the technical term for what they're doing with the pictures.
Oh, that's touch and go, that one is. It's like a very blurred frame there. The ball touches the ground before his leg crosses the touchline.
He's over, mate. Yeah.
Leighton Hodge is practicing his decision because it hasn't arrived yet. There is a big screen here that he can look at.
You're still checking, Simo?
Seen an X-winger, I'm inclined to give that, but I'm always going to favour the attack inside.
Yeah. You would do, you're a winger. It's the way he threw himself in the air there to give himself, if you like, a little bit more airspace before the defenders got to him.
We saw Corey Jane try one of those against France in the autumn. Just failing.
If the point of that ball touches the grass, It's short grass, mind. And it's a hairline decision for Gareth Simmons to make.
It's just in between frames, isn't it?
Your decision, Simon? Okay. No try.
So no try.
White line
Rodgers,
out.
you probably saw him rehearsing his decision before it actually came, but he was right all along. And Sorzetsky finds Francois van der Merwe. Off goes Nkovo.
Sublime pass there from Nicky Easter. A lot of pressure came about. All the yardage they were gaining around the fringes. Good quality ball. Allowed them to attack wider. And they're still able to maintain the pressure.
Some of the work, Jan, they're doing in the tight, not just in the scrum situation, but these mauls, again, they've turned the ball over.
I'm really surprised at how passive this Racing Metro side is. I expect a bit more intensity from them, and it's been sadly missing from their perspective, and Quins are able to enjoy that aspect.
Time back on, scrum, Quins.
Yes, I use the word
Unplayable at the moment.
flabby. I think passive is a much better description.
Again, we've seen some good solid scrums from Quins so far. Good attacking position. Great for Danny Kerr. You see he's casting it now over towards Charlie Walker.
Set! Yes, 9. Stay flanker.
Another really solid scrummage to work off for Nick Evans. And it's Hopper coming in the pass. He's driven back now. Danny Kerr looking down this blind side for Mike Brown. And they've got a little bit of a problem with this pitch here in Nantes. A couple of players now have slipped while trying to change direction. And a man who doesn't have to change direction at all is Nick Easter. He just ploughs straight through that Racing defence. And a big shock is possibly on the way here.
Wonderful angle and pace onto the ball from Nick Evans. And a little pirouette as well. As we see Marchino in some discomfort on the floor there.
Okay,
good ball retention, great pace as well.
Important.
Good flat pass, decoy run from Rob Shaw, pulls out defenders and allows Nick Easter to plough over, and he takes Dumoulin and Marchino with him. Really impressive start from Quins.
And Nick Evans converts. Well, this French side, Racing Metro tonight, they're a little bit creme brulee, hard crust, but rather soft on the inside, it would say.
At this moment in time, I'm not even sure the crust is that hard. It's really passive. It's a defensive display. Too many yards being gained by the ball carrier.
Long way back for Racing. Oh, they've done it again. Did the ball go straight out? Gee, the basic errors here. Well, it's incredible, really.
Option.
So look at the body angles of respective teams. Quins on their toes, as you would expect, leading the match 17 points up to Racing. And the body angles of Racing, they're on their heels, their shoulders are slumped, they start arguing, lots of talking going on. Very alert. Very alert to any particular opportunity. On their toes, going forward in the tackle, going forward, carrying the ball. Always looking for the quick pass for the options, just to keep Racing guessing. Racing are scratching their heads at them. We're trying to find a way into this game.
Don't want to get too crystal ball here, but with Racing at home next week, and Clermont at home, and then an easy trip down to the Scarlets, yeah, and of course, it may still be on for half. I'm teasing you. Here's Nick Evans. He loves those little dinky chips, doesn't he, into the corner?
You keep.
And again, to use that old rugby phrase, in the right areas, yeah.
Well, it's intelligent play. So it's about keep the pressure on. They're ahead 17-0. Racing look uncomfortable defending at the moment. Uncomfortable in their own territory. They can't get the crowd aren't a factor in the game. They're stunned.
Just open up a little. Good.
Well, Racing don't even look comfortable in their own skin at the moment. And the skin is being ripped from their backs by this Harlequin side. Marchino, I think he's struggling with that injury. And Kovo inside the Nantes penalty area. Machino to Dombiel. Again, the pressure is on from Nick Evans, really making sure he doesn't have time and space in which to work. This is Charlie Walker coming in off that right wing. Off goes the amazing 35-year-old Nick Easter. What form he has been in this season. I know Conor O'Shea has spoken to Stuart Lancaster. Brad Thorne played in the World Cup final, what, 36? Here is Danny Kerr again. It's all Harlequins here. With no answer, no inclination, it would seem, Racing. And again, they're beating the first defenders here. Tom Casson, Nick Evans, and this time the defence is strong on Matt Hopper.
Making good yards after the tackle.
And it's around the fringes so often, as you identified, Jan. It's Chris Robshaw, Nick Evans. There's a chance out wide here if they can get past the first defender, Matt Hopper. And this time it's a very important good tackle by Hernandez.
He needed to make that tackle.
Well, they've won a penalty here, but the Racing defence seems to be all over the place. We watched the Clermont Racing game up at the Massif Central in the league a couple of weeks ago. Whenever the Racing defence was simply embarrassing. It was a shambles.
It was invisible, that's what it was. They're missing their first step tackle time and time again. You miss your first step tackle, that allows Quins to play the offloading game, which keeps the pace going, which means the Racing defence can't settle. And they're not used to playing this type of tempo game in the top 14. They want time to bring the defences back, give their big, heavy unit an opportunity to get their breath back and set. Really disappointed a number, as you just said, a number of first step tackles they are missing. Good yards beyond that first hit.
And the amount of first up tackles they missed in the Massif Central in that Clermont game, it was staggering. They were 40-0 down before you could blink. 40-0. Racing Metro, big money Racing Metro, and now they have made a big breakthrough. Dumoulin, here's Marc-Andreu. He manages to control the ball pretty well with his foot there, Andrew, who scored the only try of the game in the Racing Metro Clermont game in round one. Leighton Hodges looking for some assistance here from the touchline. Was there anything more than a knock-on? And the decision is no. Hernandez just back from injury, a torn thigh at fullback. It's Marc-Andreu, though, who was heavily concussed in that Racing Clermont game, who's gone down injured.
Yeah, very distressing when you saw Marc-Andreu at the end of that game. He looked out for the count. A very brave player, a very capable try scorer. He's barely touched the ball.
He won the top 14 with Castres last season, did Marc-Andreu. And of course the coaching team of Castres is now at Racing Metro, the Toularon, Travers and Labitte.
Once we saw some good attacking play from Racing. Again, plenty of decoy runners, and that's a lovely angle by Dumoulin. And tries to find Andreu on the outside, didn't quite, and that sort of took the steam out of that attack. And a lot of opportunity for Quins to get back in defence. And that was better from Racing. Good quality line-up ball, as you would expect with the line of options they have. Able to launch their centre over the gain line.
Ronan O'Gara, a great Irishman, the kicking coach here at Racing Metro, alongside Laurent Travers there. Travers has appeared in the Heineken Cup final, as has Ronan O'Gara, and of course he's a multiple winner of this fabulous tournament.
Set! Yes, 9.
Coaches have been disappointed with the inaccuracies in Racing's game, really, and a lack of intensity.
Back foot, you've got to stay back foot.
Well, how well has this scrummage gone in the first half for Harlequins? Here's Nick Easter.
Stay.
Danny Kerr, George Robson. Francois Fantemerve makes the tackle. His brother made a whole host of tackles in November series and the Rugby Championship. He was quite close to the top of the tackle lists. Here's Benjamin Fall. And Fall does look like the player who potentially may be the most likely to break down this Harlequins defence.
It's a tackle!
Racing needed to keep their width there. They came in tight for that ball.
Dombiel, oh, he's seen a gap here, and Dombiel is through, and it bounces off the arms of Nick Evans, but it goes now to Francois Fantemerve. He looks inside for support.
Advantage over.
And it's taken by Estebanez. Estebanez to Unquovo. Here's a man to give you a front foot ball.
Backwards.
The big Fijian number 8, if he can keep hold of it.
No, he's gone backwards.
Now it's Machino and it's Clare. Here's Swarzetsky. The game beginning to open up here. And at last some impetus from Racing Metro. Machino into a cluttered midfield. Luc Ducalcon. They're playing with 14 men at the moment, are Racing. They have a man down injured, Machino, and it's George Robson in the guard position who does his job. Here is Dumoulin. And now Estebanez to Marc-Andreu. And Marc-Andreu has managed to scamper away from the first attempted tackle. It's Dombiel as the player who's down injured. And it goes to Nguovo.
Roll!
Oh, and stolen, Dave Ward. Chance to attack from deep here. Here's Mike Brown.
Off your feet, Blue!
Sucking all the energy out of this big crowd here tonight when that happened. Here is George Robson again, bursting through the fringes, making those critical meters all the time. Mike Brown again, trying to shake his way through the defence. Danny Kerr, Nick Evans, it's bounced to Dumoulin. Falling fortuitously into the hands of the Racing centre. Estebanez to Dombiel. Now it's Marc-Andreu. Marc-Andreu, and the cover is there from Johnny Walker, is it? Oh, well, at least Racing Metro have belatedly burst into life here.
22, yeah, taken in by White. Made dead.
An error from Nick Evans, who's been perfect so far in the game. On that kick charge down, ball goes dead. Under pressure from Andreu. That ball behind. All of a sudden, Andreu's coming into the game. He's looking with good feet. He beats the man. The ball just sits up for Charlie Walker to get back. That was better. They held their width there. At times, they've had an opportunity to counter-attack and very narrow.
No substitution?
Well, he's been struggling for a while, Marc-Andreu, so he is being replaced. But it's a decent replacement. Ran him off.
A terrific winger. A Rolls Royce of a winger. He really does look effortless when he runs. He makes it look so easy.
And Johnny Sexton is preparing to come on as well. Johnny Sexton, his last appearance on a rugby pitch, an unhappy one, the defeat to the All Blacks when he had a penalty to win that game to make it an 8-point match.
Not a bad bench to have, man. You can bring him off. Johnny Sexton on Mike Phillips and also come on as well.
Here's Hernandez to run him off. Argentine to Argentine inside, looking for Hernandez. It's fumbled by several players.
Two knock-ons here.
So
first
the whistle goes. You see that chance in the corner that Matt Hopper had? I think the referee was playing a penalty advantage. I wonder how he said. Did he say advantage over?
Yeah, he did call advantage over.
Just crossed my mind there. I'm a bit slow, you know. Oh, you've noticed.
As I nod my head and say no. Quins want to see this to half time now. 17-0 is a very healthy lead.
Prime!
Racing in pretty decent shape in this pool. They opened up with a 13-9 win against Clermont-Cologne. And then 26-all against the Scarlets when they came back from 23-10 down. Off goes Nkovo, Chris Robshaw.
The tackle release!
Twice Premiership Player of the Year. And England captain makes the tackle. Dombiel again. He loves that little dummy, doesn't he? Managed to get him through the first line of defence a few moments ago. Here's Machino to Swarzetsky. 17-0 would be a great cushion to take into the shed at half-time as Ducalcon goes on for Racing.
Turnover, no problem.
And a turnover ball here, and Luke Wallace pounces on it. Oh, but a penalty.
Take off your feet and secure.
Penalty as Nick Easter comes off his feet. And Machino attempting to go quickly, but a little scrum half, 11 times cat scrum half is going to be called down.
No, time is up.
Krzyzewski asking whether he can go for touch until the time is up. Is this within Machino's range? Well, it might well be in Hernandez's range.
Well, Johnny Sexton is stripped and preparing to come on, it seems, but he's not on yet, so he obviously can't kick it.
Well, Dambiel looks as if he's kicking this. Well, that's because Marchionneau's taking a blow to the leg. Ironically, that penalty came from a turnover that Quins had managed to secure.
Looks in a lot of pain, Marc-Andre.
Well, I think Racing will be relieved to get some points on the board if this goes over.
No, Marcus here.
Oh, what a healthy lead for Quins. Fully deserved as well. They played this game exactly how they wanted to play.
Got some great kickers on the bench. Johnny Sexton, Ronan O'Gara. Unfortunately, one of them's retired. But he's on the pitch now, standing behind Dambiel. This would give them a little bit of purchase in this game if Dambiel can land this penalty successfully, which he does. At last, Racing have made something happen as the half-time whistle goes, but it's the E numbers that have really hurt Racing in the first half. Number 10, Nick Evans, and number 8, Nick Easter. 17 points to 3 at the break. Johnny Sexton is on. Chris Robshaw, the Harlequins captain, will be facing the 3 times European winner who kicks things off for Racing. 2 Heinekens and an Amlin for Johnny Sexton, and the first fumble of the second half is a Harlequins fumble. Here is LaRue.
Advantage over.
And Marchionneau finds Johnny Sexton. He flips it to Estebanez.
Tackle, roll away.
Marchionneau, how much purpose will Racing start this second half? Well, in the evidence of the first 31 seconds, quite a bit. But yet again, at the breakdown, in the contact zone, Harlequins have prospered.
And yet again, this Hazeski being turned over. Great work at the breakdown from Quins.
First defence holding.
I think with that error from the restart, Racing still cannot get anything going. You saw the evidence there of the influence of Sexton at 10 man. Very definite, very purposeful, but they couldn't get any points at the back end of it.
It's going to be a battle, this, between Nick Evans and Johnny Sexton, 2 of the finest 10s in Europe.
Yeah.
But Racing Metro, they've actually got a very poor home record against sides from Britain and Ireland in this competition, losing to Saracens twice, Cardiff, London Irish,
12.
Edinburgh and Leinster since their first appearance in this Heineken Cup in the 10-11 season. And now it's Harlequins' turn to change a player, and it's Tim Molinar coming on in the centre. 17 stone, New Zealand-born ex-Gloucesterman who's made an impression since he arrived.
Yeah, gets the ball over the game line, and he's strong.
Dave Ward to try score Nick Easter. Here's Nick Evans, now Chris Robshaw. Arms out again from Leighton Hodges. It's at the feet there of Danny Kerr. Slow ball, Luke Wallace to Nick Easter. Now Dave Ward. Really busy hooker is Dave Ward. And it's Danny Kerr. Across comes Hernandez this time. The bounce is rather more kind than it was towards the end of the first half. But there's an offside decision here, and it's potentially in a kickable position for Harlequins. And you fancy at 17-3. First score of this second half, should it go Harlequins' way, could be pretty important.
Made the tackle.
They're on the scoreboard first. And take away the 3 points that Racing were able to gain right to the end of that first half. You mentioned Dave Ward there. He's really impressed me in this game. He's made good yardage every time, even with slow ball, getting beyond that first tackle.
The penalties here, because it's on Moser. No, it's on the 10-metre line, 10 metres back from
Nick
the line.
Evans, who was man of the match in the 2011 Amlin final. Johnny Sexton was man of the match in last season's Amlin final. In a Leinster shirt, of course, then.
Good call, Gwen, thank you.
Well, his kicking form has been excellent in recent games, putting together long sequences of success. It was his touchline kick that won the Amlin with the last play of the game against Stade Francais. Pressure kicking against French teams is no bother to Nick Evans.
Beautiful strike. Lovely, lazy strike of the ball there. Distance, no problems at all.
So Johnny Sexton's going to have to work hard for his team to get them back into this match now. It's looking rather ominous for Racing Metro and looking very bright indeed for Harlequins if they can maintain their concentration in this vital next 15 or 20 minutes. Off goes Robson. He's just the man for that. Again, they make those crucial couple of metres around those fringes. Here it is. Oh, another mistake by Hernandez. And it's Charlie Walker. Charlie Walker could be away here. And Charlie Walker has scored with a staggering breakaway try for Harlequins. And that might just nail Racing Metro.
We'll go back to those good yards gained by Chris Upshur. What that did was bought a bit of time for Danny Kerr to get that box kick away. High hanging box kick, but still plenty of time for Nantes to catch that ball. He took his eyes off the ball, and then that's a great finish by Charlie Walker. Great pace to get on the outside. You're going to see one for your wing, chasing as well. But he took his eyes, he looked down, and that's a guy that doesn't quite have the hunger anymore. Not for me. Hernandez. Alex is talking in the studio. Apathy. He hasn't got the appetite either. He took his eyes off the ball. Good hanging kick. Great chase. Go back to those yards gained by Rob Shaw. Picked up and went. Pick up and go. Really pull defenders in. Bought a bit of time for his half-back. Good high hanging kick. And what a start to the second half by Quins. 3 tries already. Now they're looking possibly at that bonus point. And what a result that would be.
They could rocket themselves back into contention in this pool. Could Harlequins be the first team to qualify for a quarter, having lost their first 2 pool games? Quite a long way to go though, of course, just round 3, but Nick Evans with the conversion attempt. He turned away very, very quickly indeed there. Well, there is an individual who is absolutely ramped up with confidence. And we talked about concentration a couple of minutes ago, that Harlequins had to apply it, and there was simply zero concentration from Hernandez.
We talked about that fight back from Leinster in the cup final against the Saints. Well, it's going to need exactly the same sort of quality of response now from Johnny Sexton outside half for Racing Metro to get some energy in this Racing side.
And it was Johnny Sexton's half-time team talk and second half performance that helped Leinster to that victory against Northampton Saints in one of the greatest Heineken finals ever in Cardiff. Nick Evans downfield, can he be as inspirational again? Well,
lads, come on.
They seem to have gone here, Racing. High tackle in the Harlequins 22.
Body language again, lots of hands on hips, lots of bewildered looks. Everyone's looking at each other to do something. You've got to have that collective spirit, that collective desire to win.
Marcus in, please, mate. Yeah, thank you.
Bernard Leroux, the player penalised. Well, whenever they got absolutely hockeyed by Clermont 2 weeks ago, after the match, Dmitry Sarzetsky said, "We must lance the boil." It doesn't look as if they found a poultice.
Really disappointing, underwhelmed by them today, considering the investment that Jackie Lorenzetti's put into bringing this squad together. 19 new faces into this squad, an already star-studded squad.
And 8.
2 new top 14 championship winning coaches as well to boot. They look devoid.
And those Racing new coaches you're talking about, Laurent Travers and Laurent Labitte, they have publicly questioned the commitment in this Racing squad.
27 points to 3 down.
Well, they brought on 3 replacements en masse. Ducalcon goes, Belarus goes, and Provo goes. So can someone inject some inspiration into this Racing team? And of course, the team to talk about is Harlequins and how brilliant they have been in taking advantage of all of this. Off goes Johnny Sexton, just the man to get things moving for Racing Metro. Here it is Machineau, and then there is yet another unforced error by Racing, and it was Wandré Creer on this occasion.
Knock on. No advantage coming.
I think Van der Merwe was struggling to see. His one eye's closed.
Forward, scrum.
At this moment in time, with the scrum cap on as well. I think he's struggling to see that pass.
Patience on the set.
He saw then what Sexton's going to bring. He leads the attacking line. He gets across that gang line. You know he shows great leadership on the field. You know he's not going to sit down, take this sort of performance.
Crouch!
King Kagashvili is on the loose head berth for Racing, and Brian Mujati, another man who's experienced a Heineken final. He was binned in that final 2 years ago. Was the former Saints tight head.
Good. Don't hold in.
Here is Nick Evans. And for once, he misjudges the distance, just gets his geometry slightly wrong.
Overcooked. Kick that time. It's on the first half. He did that so often to great effect.
You know, it's 27-3, and just watching how slowly the Racing players, including Sorzetsky, walked to that lineup.
Ponderous.
Stay 15, stay.
Charlie Matthews, brilliant. And then Luke Wallace, lovely pass to Nick Evans. And if you can keep Racing pinned back in their territory, that will do nicely. And look how hard and fast the kick chase is here from Quins.
Well, you're talking about a net gain there of 30-odd yards. You know, and look at the forlorn faces of the management team there. Laurent Labitte not looking happy, and neither is Laurent Travers on the touchline.
They look like they've just had teeth removed without anaesthetic, those two. But as a player gets treatment here, I mean, this is beginning to remind me of a game a couple of seasons ago when Harlequins recorded one of their most famous away wins in the Heineken. And it happened in France, 31-24 in the big stadium in Toulouse. Mike Brown was one of the stars that day with 2 tries. Nick Evans orchestrating as always with 16 points. And I suppose you'd be putting this result in maybe that sort of category. They haven't got the Heineken record of Toulouse Racing, but they're a big team, big money team.
That performance, and also performing in Tolman as well against Munster.
Nick Evans taken by Hernandez, who was then taken by Matt Hopper. This is Machineau and Sexton. Quick hands to Benjamin Fall, but there's been just a little fingertip knock on there.
If he was playing for Leinster, the player outside him would be ready for that pass, knowing that Johnny Sexton's capable of taking a giving a pass at that pace. But they're just not on the same wavelength. You know, they're totally different, sort of diverging sort of philosophies in this side. Some players want to play a very slow pedestrian game, and other players want to play quicker. And at the moment, there's a huge join between the two. And if you bring a player like Johnny Sexton across, you've got to expect him to play at that type of game, because that's his natural game.
Let's look at Brian Mujati there. Is he bigger than he was at the Saints, or is he just wearing a tighter shirt? Anyway, he's going off. He's injured. He's just back from injury, Brian Mujati. So Ducalcon is on. He looks very disappointed. He's worked hard to get back from quite a long-term injury problem.
Crouch!
Looks like he spent some time in the gym during the playoff. And he faces another one. So they could go quickly here, but
early push.
Deciding that they will.
Push. The first one was an early engage. That's the difference, okay? Scrum take.
They will have another scrummage, and why not? The scrum has gone so well tonight.
Wait for the set before we go in.
You know, and sort of counted your sort of perception how things would go in the set piece. It would favour Racing Metro with a big unit. I'm really impressed with how Quins have responded to the physical challenge we expected from Racing Metro.
Crouch!
Yeah, that win against Munster and Tobin Park was in the knockout stages when they won the tournament. And they achieved that despite having Nick Easter sent off towards the end. And Nick Easter then knocks the ball on. Maybe you heard me. Here's Johnny Sexton to Dumoulin. Dumoulin fires a long, bouncing pass, but Leighton Hodges doesn't like it.
If they got to that point, they would have been, but they didn't. It was a forward pass on
Forward
the first
pass,
pass.
he
That's an
says.
advantage for me, okay?
Yeah, not enough of an advantage for Leighton Hodges.
It's a knock-on.
Well,
lads.
if
He's gone
Racing
forward
play
off the
like this
first
next
pass,
week,
that's not advantage for me,
it's going to be a given for Harlequins
So we'll have a
at the
scrum.
Stoop. And as I said, they have
Racing
Clermont coming to the Twickenham area. Clermont beating the Scarlets with a try bonus point earlier on today. And suddenly this pool could be absolutely reopened.
If they get bonus point, bonus point, try bonus as well as the win, it takes them up to 7 points. This is 3 points off the lead. You're back in this.
It's a very surprising performance from Racing because they'd started this pool pretty well with that victory and then the draw at the Scarlets, where they really fought back hard from a very difficult position. They were 13 points adrift quite late in the game. Girondeau, the replacement, picks up Benjamin Fall, and now Johnny Sexton. Here is Hernandez. Hernandez tackled by Hopper. Girondeau, good spin by Girondeau. Charlie Walker tackles him. Here is Clare. And now it's Imhoff. Ron Imhoff scored 2 tries in that wonderful game here in Nantes last season against Saracens. Dumoulin, and they've managed to strip the ball away. Dave Ward did extremely well to offload it.
Oh, didn't he just work really hard there?
George Robson now. He's tackled by Dumoulin, and they're in and over the ball here at Racing, so they're going to have to clear out quickly here, or Harlequins. Get off, says Danny. Tim Molyneux, man of the match on this Harlequins debut at Welford Road. Now Mike Brown, and it's LaRue, numberless LaRue, who makes the tackle. Kerr to Nick Easter. Needs a little bit of support coming in behind him here, which he gets. Timed beautifully. Now here's Nick Evans, and it's Molyneux again on that angled crash. Danny Kerr. Hernandez. The Racing fullback clears away in the direction of the touchline. And now it's Charlie Walker. Score of that third try, remember. They need another one for the bonus point. Good work by Charlie Walker, known to his really quick feet in this Harlequin squad.
First action's
down. The penalty has been conceded.
You got to stay on your feet.
Beyond the ball on his hands.
You got to hold your own body weight when you come in. A good feat by Charlie Walker. Beats the first man. Give his team an opportunity to get there to win the next phase. But you've got to hold your own body weight when you go in there.
Good sight for Harlequins. Nick Kennedy bouncing around, waiting to come on after his injury layoff. And Paul Doran-Jones, he's not long back from an injury. The tight head.
I think they are.
On they come.
Say that again.
Will Collier being replaced.
Time off substitution.
Nick Kennedy played in the Heineken Cup final last season for Toulon and the top 14 final.
See Molyneux take that ball hard. Again, those 2 or 3 key yards. So Nick East earlier on doing it. That time Molyneux just leave the Danny Kerr section up and then hit the next wave of ball carriers.
The nasally plug to Ducalcon goes off, and here is Johnny Sexton to Dumoulin. And we identified him as a crash ball runner in the warm-up to this game. They went through several moves involving Dumoulin. Oh, and again there's the confusion. The referee was playing an advantage, but when a pass bounces off a player's head, it's never a really good sign, is it?
Well, go back to that communication and being on the same wavelength. Some players are playing a different game plan to the others. You know, that makes it problematic to hold on to the ball, to go through phases. And now this has given them a chance. Might that put a smile back on Lambie's face? Good work at the breakdown.
I'm not sure if a lottery win would put a smile back on Laura Beat's face at the moment. Well, the crowd are certainly trying to get behind this Racing team now. again, they're slow to the line out, even though they're in a good attacking position. Here's Sorzetsky, and that's a good take by Francois Fantemerve. Can they give themselves some sort of foundation in this game? Racing, you feel they've got to score a try here if they're to do that. From this good attacking position, Johnny Sexton, this has to be defended! And it was Wadimov coming in, looking to grasp the ball, but not quite. And back they come for the penalty.
But the plus thing for Racing, at least Imhoff and Sexton were on the same wavelength. And the same lovely kick to the corner.
Totally different, Chris. Totally different.
Well, have taken that. And probably saw Charlie Walker out of the corner of his eye coming in to put the hit. And Mike Brown is there as well to come in.
I mean, again, they're wasting 20-30 seconds in every line-up.
It's laboured and ponderous.
Sorzetsky, Girondeau takes it. In comes the drive. Can Harlequins negate that drive? It doesn't look very likely at the moment. And over they go, and it's LaRue who gets the try for Racing, and they do have some sort of foundation. Is it too late?
At last, and we see some energy from the crowd as well. And they need something to stimulate them as well. You reciprocate, the crowd as a team feed off each other. There's kind of a nothing to feed on at all. And at last something worked for Racing Metro. A little bit fractured, but still able to get across the try line. At last was something for them to cheer.
Well, it is the power for which Racing Metro are most noted. And here is Johnny Sexton. He likened himself to John Nash recently. You may have seen the movie Beautiful Mind, a man obsessed with mathematical theory. And in fact, Brian O'Driscoll said he reminded him of Podrick Harrington in terms of his obsessive nature.
Goal kickers are like that, batsmen in cricket as well. It's about success, getting the mechanics right as well. You do become obsessive with things like that.
Johnny Sexton. Unfortunately for him, it's a miss, and well, his last kick was with not long to go in that New Zealand game at the Aviva Stadium, which would have given Ireland an 8-point cushion. And how he deals with that mentally could be important as well. We were talking to Ron O'Gara about that before the game, yeah.
He's probably better off being here in France as well, away from the scrutiny, away from the tension on the back of that loss to New Zealand. Heartbreaking loss for Ireland.
Which is what Rod said. Yeah, and no man understands better what Johnny Sexton's going through than Ron O'Gara.
Well, he's certainly going to have empathy for Johnny Sexton in that situation.
Huge height on Nick Evans' restart there. Gives your forwards plenty of time to attack the receiver, and now Racing attack this contact area, but it's Danny Kerr who comes up with the ball. Now it's Robshaw for Smith. Smith tries to get outside Dumoulin. Danny Kerr to Joe Mara. I think Danny Kerr was thinking about going down the blind side. The blind side was about 6 inches wide, but you know something, Danny Kerr can get through those gaps. He did it against London Irish in a league game quite recently. Here's Sam Smith.
Quins' use of narrow spaces really very effective around the ball. There's one man's really stand out for me today. David Ward, been outstanding.
Nice little flip ball as well, wasn't it, from Nick Evans. Paul Doran-Jones was in the mix there. Now it's Chris Robshaw, who's always in the mix. Danny Kerr. And continuing to play this offloading game when they can. George Robson to Robshaw. It's not quite prestissimo at the moment, but they are maintaining a hold on the ball. Back to Nick Evans, and oh, Charlie Walker makes the mistake. Dumoulin then picks it up, but then he makes a mistake.
First one, Quins.
First knock on was by Harlequins.
Certainly for Quins there. Haven't had much ball over the past 5-6 minutes or so. We wanted to go through a few phases, try and create that fractured defence we saw from Racing in the first half. And for a turn over the ball. And maybe go through those phases. As you see Mike Phillips.
And the captain now, please.
Making his first appearance for Racing Metro. Free agent after being dismissed by Bayonne. He still plans to take legal action against his former employers. But a 2.5-year deal for Mike Phillips. Good move.
And 9.
You see when he plays against Bayonne potentially. His partnership with Machino as well. It's such a physical nature of the top 14. You can't play every game. I think Racing intend to bring another quality. The problem is they're both first choice for their respective nations. Who's going to be around during those periods when they're with their international sides?
Maxi Machino said mischievously this week that he was going to take Mike Phillips out for a few beers tonight if they won, but I don't think Maxine's going to have to dip into his pocket the way things are going at the moment.
He enjoys top 14, Mike Phillips. It's very physical. And he'll enjoy an opportunity to prove himself at this level of rugby.
Yes, 9.
Yes, 9, and goes the ball from Mike Phillips. Girondeau to Phillips to Johnny Sexton. Of course, they've played Lions Test rugby together as a 9 and 10. Sexton and Phillips, and again, there is that irritating lack of communication.
It's just taking your eyes off the ball. How often have you seen that wraparound pass when he's in the shirt of Leinster? It might have been Rob Carney ran onto that. Now it's Hernandez.
Not a white scrum.
Not quite the incisive runner we saw many years ago.
Step a little closer for me, okay?
Really stretching to take that ball. Jackie Lorenzetti looking rather glum, the owner of Racing Metro.
You should expect more for the investment. Huge amount into this club.
Crouch! Bind!
Zarzetsky's been replaced by Virgil Lacombe, a top 14 winner with Toulouse. That again shows you the depth in this Racing squad.
Both sides crabbing. Both sides crabbing. Stability immediately.
Harlequins continuing their good form, having won their last 4 matches in the Premiership, climbing from 7th to 4th in the process. So they're a confident outfit, and that's despite a long, debilitating injury list. Although they are beginning to get some players back. Nick Kennedy you saw there, and Joe Gray is maybe a week away from returning. George Lowe out for the season. Jordan Turner-Hall still injured.
Really do well. Look at the shirt of Dave Ward's back. Really impressive.
Really.
Leighton Hodges becoming frustrated and giving the penalty for the early engagement, as he says, escalation of a previously committed offence.
They've been warned a few times now. And this will take a little bit of the pressure off Quins and turn it back on Racing Metro. Racing Metro have enjoyed a period of possession, but haven't really made the most of it. No one tried. Now have an opportunity to finish this game off potentially.
The excellent Dave Ward, excellent line out to George Robson. Right, can they return the favour? They conceded a try from a maul, and Leighton Hodges is going to give the penalty if Harlequins do not succeed, and they don't. And it's Wandre Crair in from the side.
Number 4.
Van der Merwe, I think, going in there. You see coming around the side. And And the man down as well.
Watch that front three, especially.
Surprised you can see anything out of that left eye, mind.
He's got an eye similar to the one Chris Robshaw picked up at the November Internationals.
Line is the
He
middle.
could hardly see. 6 foot 6 inch 20 stone figure of Francois van der Merwe. Lorry tries to challenge in the line out.
What for, mate? If you've got a foul play, Nick, just call it, okay?
Indications of a potential foul play here.
Ball is there.
From beyond, here's Danny Kerr, now Nicky Sturk.
Advantage over!
Robshaw on his first receiver again there.
Danny Kerr to George Robson, pummeling into that Racing defence. Danny Kerr fires it out to Mike Brown. They had to clutch for that one. There was a slightly loopy pass on that occasion. Here is Kerr for Nick Kennedy, Heineken Cup winner last season. Here George Robson now, again. Robson carries.
No, first man in.
And the referee says first man in was legal, so it's turnover ball. And the ball goes backwards, fortunately. Mike Phillips at scrum half now. Now Bonzimon fall. He had an opportunity in the first half when he put in that little chip and chase. Mike Phillips to Johnny Sexton. Sexton tackled by George Robson. Watch this man carefully. Phillips. Mike Phillips once more, and Mike Phillips manages to roll away from the first tackle. Then Sam Smith gets him.
Mike Browning really quickly at that breakdown. Yeah, really good work by the full-back.
Quinn, am I checking a foul
Mike Phillips
play
got a
or
little bit
not?
isolated there.
Well, Mike Brown said something there to Mike Phillips because he bounced to his feet very quickly. And Mike Phillips is not a shy individual.
Neither of them are going to back off that.
Yeah, Mr. Angry versus Mike Phillips.
Whereas a player, Girondeau, since he's come on for Racing's made a bit of a difference. He's been very aggressive at the breakdown. And he forced that turnover to allow that counter-attack from Racing. And as when I talked about Dave Ward earlier on, playing well for Quins, Robson's also played well. But that's the strength that Mike Phillips has. He carried the ball on an incorrect arm leg, wasn't able to fend. But look at Mike Brown in hard, good body position.
If we had a European Interbacks boxing tournament, I'd like to see Phillips versus Brown. That would pack a big arena.
Mike Phillips probably carries an extra a little bit of weight. He's a little bit bigger. You're probably going to light heavy against a middleweight there.
Let's make it catch weight, shall we? Just for fun.
Are we going to play on?
Yes, sir.
Van der Merwe going off the field.
13-22.
Anything now.
Yeah,
with that eye.
Play on, please.
Ben Botica
Play on.
comes on for Harlequins. So they've replaced
Closing
both
the gap.
centres now, Molinar and Botica's the new combination. That does not look good at all, does it, for Matt Hopper? And they're already running out of numbers in midfield, or Harlequins. That looks
Time
awful.
off.
Yeah, George Lowe injured. John Carson wasn't.
He's already on.
Carson obviously injured earlier on.
And he was struggling to make the game. Turner Hall, as I mentioned as well, was out. Dave Ward, good take by Nick Kennedy. He's been a brilliant line out forward for
Stay out, three.
longer
Stay
than
out.
most of us can remember for London Irish, and then in his new life at Toulon. That's Molinar. And turned over illegally on this occasion because the hands were on the deck. So a penalty to Harlequins. And it might just be within kicking range. But of course they've got to think about this bonus point now, don't they?
Yeah, I think they'll kick to the corner. They did earlier on. I think they'll probably do the same. As Nick Evans is looking round. I think they'll go for the corner now. 10 minutes to go. 27 points to 8 up. Yeah, 3 tries. I think they need to go for the corner now.
Absolutely. It's a Racing certainty.
It's just so natural, isn't it?
On comes Carl Dixon and Mark Lambert. Joe Marler is replaced. And so too, obviously, with Carl Dixon being a scrum half, is Danny Kerr. Usual feisty performance from Kerr today. Weighs 17 stone, man from Masterton in New Zealand, and he's a hard gent to bring down, is Tim Molnar.
This is the last time I ask you to open up the gun. The last time. The last time.
He's one of those guys as well, his elbows and arms everywhere, very difficult to bring down in the tackle.
Dave Ward, well taken by Nick Easter.
No, it's a maul. It's a maul.
Can they get the extra point, Harlequins? The win would appear to be secured.
Through the middle.
And they're doing it the physical way at the moment. Nick Kennedy. Just Rob Shaw. Just drives away an extra metre. There's advantage to Harlequins. And off goes Carl Dixon, but he's going to be called back. He's very, very frustrated at that decision by Leighton Hodges.
Karim Ghazal really slow getting up, interrupting that flow of the ball from the breakdown.
Well, he gave a basket full of yellow cards in
the issue we've got is just to build up the penalties, okay?
PG game.
Change when you're going to lose somebody to the bill, okay? So discipline me, please.
And there will be a yellow card coming if it happens again. Estebanez has taken over the captaincy from Sarzeski. Look at that eye.
Oh, that was a good look that Estebanez gave to Leighton Hodges as well. I share your pain, sort of look.
Not rolling.
Now Dave Ward, big line out for him with this throw to come. And they've got it. And here's the drive. Can they set it effectively and efficiently here, Harlequins, and get the 5th match point? Oh, they can! Extras delivered by the forwards.
Thoroughly deserved as well. They really have shown great character here. Play away from home in Nantes against a team with so much quality in Racing Metro. They put them under pressure from the outset. They played with energy, they played dynamism. And now they come back, been under pressure in the second half at times territorially. They responded brilliantly, and the pack really outperformed admirably today.
Well, it's Carl Dixon who's in possession at the tail of that, and it looks like Carl Dixon has got the try, and the bonus point try at that. Well, it's one of the most amazing away performances in Harlequins history, and there have been a few.
Talk about how poor Racing Metro have been, and they have been poor, but this has been an outstanding display by Harlequins. Really has been a terrific game plan to really put Racing Metro constantly on the back foot, guided by that man Nick Evans at outside half.
Well, not a kick that mattered particularly, but they have been smashed. They have destroyed Jackie Lorenzetti and his millions.
Time off, substitution. Number 2 and number 8. 2 and 8.
Look at that scoreline. 8:32. Is that a misprint? 22 away from home. Star-studded Racing Metro side. That's a commanding and comprehensive performance by Quins today.
Northampton Leinster, of course, coming up next when Carl Dixon's brother Lee, who is one of the stars of the November series for England, will be playing against the former European champions. And here is Carl Dixon. Joe Trayfoot is on now for Harlequins. Nick Evans. That is Johnny Saxton.
Come out White!
Nick Evans.
Quins, stay!
Oh, he's given that some welly.
Don't touch too much. They're not going to bounce. No, just checked.
please.
It was all the way back. Yeah, the ball was still rotating
Yeah, it has gone dead.
Hernandez
rolling,
picked the ball
footed.
up and stretched his ball over the dead ball line, so it is a scrum all the way back.
And that ball is still rolling. You can put your foot over the dead ball, and it goes all the way back. It was unfortunate Nick Evans took a hard bounce. He wanted it checked in goal area, but it didn't. Again, 32 points to 8 up, 5 minutes to go. It really matters. Go back to the level of performance by Quins. You know, their pack in particular, Ward, George Robson been outstanding, Rob Shaw and Nick Easter, really outstanding performances. Even the set piece, Quins have been worried a little bit about the set piece going into this game. It's the size of the Racing Metro pack, but what the response from the pack. Really have stood up to the task at hand and provided the sort of quality ball that Danny Kerr, Nick Evans thrive upon. Plenty of time, plenty of space. They pick the areas. The kicking game's been outstanding. And he's got 4 tries away from home.
2 tired old warriors on that bench.
Crouch! Fine!
Another immensely productive performance by Nick Easter in that Harlequins pack, but they're all getting used to it down at the Stoop, 35 years or not. And I think Luke Wallace has managed to get his hands on that ball there. Racing pile in to try and win the ball back. Oh, Luke Wallace is in there again.
5.
But George Robson then comes off his feet, gives away the penalty. And Wenceslas Lore's taken a blow.
Look at the time it's taken Racing Metro there. 32 points to 8 down. It is pedestrian.
6 won the ball.
Lack of dynamism in their game. Expect so much more from this Racing Metro side. I think who is still in this group going into the game.
I think Lore has an injury that requires a few deep breaths.
Time off.
No one's going to help him out there, man. He's on his own.
Well, Racing's league form it's been really roller coaster at times, embarrassing, and then they somehow managed to elicit a comeback. But I'm afraid this falls into the former bracket. Again, taking nothing away from this absolutely top-class Harlequins display.
It's been an impeccable performance by Quins, there's no doubt. It's just a lackluster one from Racing, really surprising. 26,000 people came here, not most of them local supporters. Expected a bit more from Racing Metro.
Scrum option taken.
Falling off tackles. The yards Quins were able to gain around the fringes. Really was one of the major significant areas where Quins have got such an advantage and able to play the game they wanted to play.
It's amazing, really. Racing's only home victory over a Premiership side in any ERC competition is a 1917 win over Wasps at Stade Cologne in the 6th round of the Amlin 3 years ago. So there you go. Cursed.
Very passive. In the Peace Corps. So passive, isn't he?
Bind! Set! Early Quins.
Early engagement by Quins. Off goes Mike Phillips. In typical style. He enjoys a smash and a bang. And Leighton Hodges tips himself over as Luke Wallace comes in on the floor trying to turn that ball over. And the penalty advantage to Racing as Wenceslas Lore picks the ball up.
What's the number, Greg? I was on there, sorry.
Here goes Mike Phillips. Here is Johnny Sexton, and it comes off to Moulin, but he was playing the penalty advantage, Leighton Hodges, which he will come back
Time
for.
off. Similar warning to what they
Mike Phillips has certainly brought a bit more energy to the team.
He's looking to make an early justification of what I'm sure will be a pretty sizable wage on his 2.5-year deal. Racing said they were chasing Mike Phillips anyway before he was dismissed by Bayonne, but discussions were underway with his agent.
Very physical, always looking to be good yardage as we see Leighton Hodges coming to shot there. I'd only give that a 2.5 as a die. But Michael, get the Racing Meadow supporters off their feet, you know, on their feet rather than sat down.
Year on year, you're too close. Step off. You're almost in the set position.
So little get on their feet for today.
Paul Doran-Jones just being spoken to there by Leighton Hodges. Brand new front row for Harlequins. Harry Allen's on, 21-year-old. Player added to the squad after Rob Buchanan's injury.
Crouch!
It's been an exceptional performance by Quins. To a man.
Set! Yes, 9.
So Phillips feeds. And it's a penalty, and it's Girondeau who goes quickly. Girondeau, he tries to get the offload away, but it's snuggled up well.
No, he's off the foot, off the foot.
And Harlequins have it through George Robson.
Use it!
So well done again, getting the ball back off these big Racing juggernauts, but they're going to get put into the scrummage here with
use it or lose it.
15 seconds to go. You're going to need more than those binoculars to see any good news from your Racing
straight
team.
to deck on the last penalty.
Plenty of good news for Quins though. And might this be a season-defining performance for Quins? Slow start of the season, but certainly gaining momentum in the Premiership, but also in the Heineken Cup now, and they're certainly back in this group.
And reignites their interest in this Heineken Cup pool. Quite a few Harlequins faithful have travelled here to Nantes. I'll bet they're glad they did so.
Here's Rob Shaw and his teammates take a bow.
Set! Yes, 9.
Girondeau again picks up, and it's intercepted by Chris Robshaw. Final play of the game. Can they finish off with another try? Here is Molinar, and now Sam Smith, and Mike Brown is after this one. Johnny Sexton is across. Johnny Sexton is hauled into touch by Mike Brown, and that should be the final act of this game. And Leighton Hodges blows his whistle. What an absolutely staggering performance by Harlequins away here on foreign soil. A multicoloured occasion for the multicoloured Quins, and they have beaten Racing Metro with a try bonus point by 32 points to 8.